And like another big reason of why I would make excuses to not do therapy was because I thought it was hard to find a therapist. It was just like, where the fuck do you even begin to find a therapist? Like,
People make it seem like it's hard. You
but
really
it
have to do
ain't.
your research, because my first couple of experiences, like, I wasn't feeling my therapist, but it's also the fact that I was resistant to therapy as well. So
Mm.
that could play a role.
Yeah, being receptive to therapy is everything. Like, it ain't
Yeah.
even no point of going if you.
If you don't believe in it, if you don't think that there's going to be a benefit to it, you're going to just struggle with anybody you get, because you already don't believe in the methods that they're going to use.
Exactly, because they probably will have you doing some shit that you ain't really wanted to do before.
Mm-hmm.
Re-
Mm-hmm.
Reflecting on things you don't really want to reflect on.
Accountability. Niggas hate that.
Woo! Okay, because
Accountable.
you hit the nail on the head. Like, definitely, because one of the first methods that my therapist used with me is journaling. So she was having a hard time getting me to like draw out experiences, because like, you know how you kind of compartmentalize shit.
Yeah.
Like, back in the day, it's just like, you know, we don't think about feelings. So like, you asking me like what made me feel this feeling in the past, and I done put that shit in a box, locked it, and put, you know what I'm saying, put it in the
Mm-hmm.
closet, buried it 3 feet underground, and like forgot about it. Like, I don't want to go back there. Like, I put that shit
Yeah.
where I put it, and I plan on leaving it there, and you trying to get it out. So like, she had me start journaling or whatever, because we wasn't really getting nowhere in therapy. I was trying, but we wasn't getting nowhere. So she had me start journaling. And
Mm-hmm.
like, at first I thought it was just like, man, I ain't got no time for this shit. Like, I got all this shit going on. I ain't got no fucking
Mm-hmm.
time to
Mm-hmm.
fucking be journaling and shit. But you know, she gonna hold you accountable, because the next set she done asked you to write this prompt and to bring back an example. So like, I gotta have something on this fucking paper. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
15, it's on my 15-minute break while I'm at work, and I got therapy right after work that day. So I'm on my 15-minute break. I write like a quick little journal or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I go back to there. I actually got some significant shit off of my chest in that meantime. Like, went back to therapy. We talked about it. She told me to do it like 2 more times. And before I know it, I got like a habit of fucking journaling.
You journal every motherfucking day. Sometimes go 2 times a day. So shout out to your therapist.
Yo, she straight turned me into a writer.
She
Like,
brought it out. It was already there. She
my
brought it out.
therapist made a superstar. Like,
It was already there. Therapists help you bring out what's already there. I'm convinced. It's like all the stuff that we had that we need is already within us. But sometimes you need significant people in your life to really show you what it is. And I think therapists have like a cool role and significant roles in people's life when they can bring out those qualities in you, especially good ones.
yo, okay. So like, what's a good therapist and a bad therapist? Because I've only had one good
Oh.
therapist. What's a bad therapist?
I'm gonna just start off with this. I'm gonna say a bad therapist is a therapist who does not have their own therapist. Everybody needs therapy, including the therapist. So if they're like not having their own therapist and having their own like check-in, that's a red flag for me. I wouldn't even know. I don't know what a bad therapist is, because I don't know. I'm pretty sure I can say what a bad therapist is. I can't really give no concrete examples, but that's definitely one of them. Another one would be just somebody who's not willing to learn and grow in a profession, who's not just willing to educate themselves on different cultures, different methodologies, and different ways of doing things. I would say that's not a good therapist, because you want somebody who's also learning to evolve, and grow, and also eliminate any biases that they may have. Because you want them to be human like you. Obviously, they have a specific job, but you also want to know they're growing, learning, expanding their education, and continue to stay up on what's happening. A good therapist would be that person who has a therapist, who's growing and learning, who's present, who's in tune with their clients, who's able to like recognize what's working and what's not working, being able to effectively communicate. I think those are good therapists. But I'm sure there's more qualities. What do you think a good therapist is? You've had one. What it sound like?
Yeah. I was just thinking too, like, a good quality like that I would look for in a therapist is like a certain level of open-mindedness.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know a lot of people worry about, you know, when you go in and you telling somebody who, you know, seems to be a stranger, like, you telling them like all your problems and shit, like, you wondering if they gonna judge you. And actually,
They
um
are. That's our job, to judge you. Like, we're gonna judge you, but we're gonna also help you. It's like we have to take what you're saying and obviously look at how we're going to help you and what methodology and what like way what's going to work best for you. But it's like it's a sense of judgment, but it's good judgment. It's not like, oh, you're a bad person because you did that, this, that, and third. That would be a bad therapist because they'll be bringing their own biases and their own opinions into your sessions, into that space. And it's like, that's not what they're supposed to. They're supposed to be open, judgment free, and allow you to be vulnerable, because that's the whole basis of going to therapy, to like open up, to be vulnerable, to be able to share your story and move beyond your traumas.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like, in mine, like I actually never felt judged. You know what I'm saying? Like she definitely like hold me accountable, but I think more so than anything, like the thing that I liked about my therapist was she gave me something that I wasn't initially used to, which was somebody acknowledging my feelings.
Oh, yes, 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 yes. All of that. That's why I love my last therapist, because she just made me feel like I'm not crazy. Like, I
Yeah.
felt validated, even though like I may have had people in my life who made me feel that way. But going to therapy, it just felt like good to say what I had to say and like not feel like I was alone. But it also helped me to like reach out to people who I am close to and be able to also do that with them and not just my therapist.
Absolutely, exactly. So she kind of like that, giving me that validation, like is one of the things that like helped teach me that I don't even need the validation.
Yeah.
But like she would do that, like she would validate my feelings, and then she would also follow that up with an alternative perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Of how to view the situation. And I think that gave me a more dynamic perception of the world. It's one of the things that helped me like mature my thought process.
Okay.
Because it's just like, you know, like, yes, your feelings in that particular moment are valid. You have every right to feel how you want it, how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
But also, have you taken these other things into consideration? And a lot of the times they will be things that I never took into consideration before,
Mm-hmm.
which doesn't change how you feel, because how you feel matters. But is it possible to feel how you feel and other things be true as well? Is there a significant difference between like, okay, because you know how some people when they think about therapy, it's just like, I'll just go talk to my mama or my grandmama.
Ooh.
My friends, like, they got me. Like, what's the difference here?
The difference is
big difference.
License,
Huge
difference. They got that license, that professional background. They do this shit. Not to say that people don't give good advice, because I feel like I was always giving advice, even when I was like in high school. Like I was just that person who was like always had sound and rational and reasonable advice, even though I could not give it to myself. I would happily take that and give it to others.
Yeah.
The difference is that professional background, and like people, I hate this so much that people try to like diagnose or self-diagnose, like especially with social media, and it's just like, go to a fucking professional.
For real. Because I would have told you that I had clinical depression, but I don't.
Bitch.
I really don't. Like, I thought I was bipolar. Like, you know what I'm saying? I really thought it was shit wrong with me. Nah. Like, nah. Like, not at all. You'll be out here thinking you need medicine, and like, you don't. Like, some people do. Some people do. But like, you probably don't. You probably just need to talk to somebody. Because like a lot of what I was dealing with was just me not knowing how to like regulate my feelings properly. And like understanding my feelings and just like dealing with a lot of the things. You know what I'm saying? Just dealing with things that were just holding me back in general.
Yeah. I feel like we talked about that a bit, just like not being able to like regulate our feelings, because there were just like certain feelings that we associated with everything. Like,
I didn't know my feelings at all.
Yeah. I only knew anger. I knew anger for a very long time. That was like my comfort feeling. Like, if I was upset and I really wanted to be sad, I'm going to be angry, because angry was comfortable. I knew how to be angry. I knew how to push people out. I knew how to shut people out. I knew how to be upset. I knew how to be irrational, even though, like, I'm really sad. Like, you hurt my feelings. Like, I'm not mad at you, but, like, I'm sad that you thought it was okay to hurt my feelings, or you did something to hurt my feelings. But instead of me doing that, I'm going to be a raging bitch, because that's much easier for me to do versus me to sit here and be vulnerable and tell you that I'm actually fucking sad.
Yeah, that's so real. That's so real. Because for me, it was to be a martyr. Like in my mind, I just let everybody walk on my feelings and just like step on my poor little heart. And I'm gonna just go in my room and cry and just you know, y'all know Cancer is dramatic. Like, you know,
but we ain't even gonna talk about zodiacs. We're gonna leave that for another episode.
But you know, that was my thing. Like, I liked being depressed. Like, not I liked it, but I mean, it was my comfort zone. Like,
those two feelings, you enjoyed that because I was actually watching something today that I wanted to send you. And this man was talking about like the brain, how like the brain when it's in survival mode, like how fear, anxiety, and these different emotions are associated with survival mode because we know these feelings, we can go to them and we associate different things with them, and that's what we always go to. This video, it was a good ass fucking video I was watching this morning before work, and I'm like, that's so true. Because these feelings are like tacked on survival mode because it's like when you live in anxiety and fear, that means we do not trust that we are okay. We do not trust that things are going to be better. We do not trust or feel like things are right. He was saying how like people say that those are human feelings, but it's like they're human feelings because like we make it so normal to be anxious, to be in fear, to like have those, and it's just like we could not have those feelings. We could literally think about having a good life, having a good day without being anxious, feeling okay about ourselves, and kind of like actually embodying that. But it takes some practicing. But he talked about manifesting and visual manifestation a little bit. But that's also another episode. But I just want to add that in there. Like, that is really true. When you think about it, those feelings are associated with survival. You need to feel that in order to do whatever it is the fuck you think you gotta do. And it's like, you don't gotta be anxious, you don't have to be fearful, like, because we're not in those moments or experiencing those traumas that we've been through, because oftentimes it's associated with some past trauma, like, oh, I'm anxious because one time this happened and now I think every time I go and do this it's going to happen. And it's just like, it could actually not happen. You can actually go and have a good time and not have any fucking worries. But because we associate whatever it is with these different feelings, every time we go and do different things, we're going to keep having those same feelings because that's what the association is.
Yeah. I was thinking this to myself the other day because, you know, like sometimes I think to myself, like when it comes to like work that I want to do as far as like moving my own life forward, I feel like I kind of get in the way sometimes. And like, I was thinking, it's just like, okay, so like what's blocking me from getting where it is that I need to go? Like what's keeping me here? And for the most part, it's really me making certain changes that I'm afraid to make. It's literally like me committing to certain changes, because it's like, it's almost like when you think about like, oh, my stuff's not moving the way that I want to, you know what I'm saying? Like, why? And then like, once you stop thinking about the why and think about like, okay, what am I doing and what can I change? And like, you know, where I was looking outward for the solution, I started looking inward for the solution again. So it's like changing the way that I think, because when I would get into thought patterns like that in the past, it would be like I would be stuck in that place of like, why are things not going the way that I want to go? What am I doing wrong? You know what I'm saying? Woe is me. And it's just like, no, it doesn't have to be woe is you. Like, what are we doing? What can we change?
And just trust. You gotta trust the process, which is hard for a lot of us to do. Because, like you said, we want to know what we're doing wrong. What's like, we want to have control. Like, we want to know how things are gonna look when they're coming. And like, I'm gonna have to talk about God. But when you believe in God, though, and you know that God got you, you allow Him to guide the way. You ask questions, but you ask the right questions. You also you pace yourself, and you're patient, because it's like, I love to be in control. I don't want to admit that. I want to know what's
we all happen. Like control. It is what it is.
If we could like get a sneak peek to our future. I'm pretty sure a lot of us would jump at the sight of that. Some of us could actually see into our future, but that may be another.
That's a whole nother episode, okay? Like that's a whole nother episode for a whole nother channel.
Okay.
We're gonna have to go to a different channel for that one.
Okay, we have to talk.
But we should though. Ooh, okay.
We can talk about that.
Yeah, we gonna talk about that.
But like I was saying, if niggas would get a chance to like really look at their future, niggas would literally jump at the chance to see what their future would look like, and niggas would still not do all the right things to ensure that their future would look a certain way. Because your future looks like the way you want it once you start putting in the work. We are creating our future right now, even as we're having this conversation. We are creating our future. You have the tools and the resources to create the future that you want. And I feel like I wish somebody would have told me that, or maybe people may have told me that in school when I was younger, but they never told me in a way that it made fucking sense.
Yes.
Like you're in control of your future. This is your destiny. But like it was such in a way that it was aggressive, and also was like fucking academic and school based. They're like, okay, I know it's my future, that's why I get A's and B's. The fuck you talking about? Like, duh.
Yo.
But it's so much more to that. It's like even when school is like, there's so much more to school than A's and B's. Like you're in school to socialize. You're in school to like almost find yourself. Not even just like in college, but also like in high school, middle school. You're like constantly learning about people, learning how to be in different environments, learn about different cultures, and just like a lot of that I don't feel like is always expressed, because school is looked at a place that you have to go and get your education, but you should be learning outside of school. You should be learning everywhere you go. Everything should be like not in a traditional sense of like learning, but everywhere you should go should be a place that you're developing new skills and learning about yourself, especially kids, and not just the school system. And
do it really?
Huh?
Do your file really just follow you from therapist to therapist?
I feel like in a sense some of your shit do if you actually get transferred over, but like also if you talk to them and you're honest with them, you can tell them about the different diagnoses that you receive too. I feel like it's all about how transparent you want to be. With me, with my new therapist that I'm going to see on Thursday, I'm going to be very transparent, because it's like at the end of the day, I think the more open and honest I am, the better help I will get, because it's like, why sit here and lie? Why pay somebody to fucking lie to me?
Bruh, and they can't tell nobody. They can't tell nobody. And like the shit that they tell you is just like, it's different than like advice from a friend or advice from a family member. Like, because one is unbiased, like advice first and foremost, and then like, you know, the other one, it's just like y'all don't have no like like, you know what I'm saying, it's no real position to take with a person. So you know what I'm saying, they literally like, it's just they can give you a perspective that's like outside versus like when you talk to like people that are around you, like an inside opinion. Like they might be giving you opinions based off their feelings or, you know what I'm saying, their experiences that they ain't dealt with and stuff like that. And it's just like a therapist ain't really gonna tell you too much about your life. Like mine let me figure it out on my own. And that's asking me certain questions.
They're the facilitator. It's like the therapist ain't going to tell you what to do. And I feel like a lot of people think they're going to therapy. Oh, therapy just listen to me talk. They're not telling you what to do. They're not going to tell you what to do. They're going to guide you in a sense of you're going to come to your own conclusions, because you're not going to say, oh, my therapist told me to do X, Y, and Z. No, your therapist guides you through this certain situation, and you came to the conclusion of what you think is the next step, because it's not their job to tell you anything. It's their job to help you identify what your issues are and help you unpack that. And you're gonna do most of the talking, but they're there to facilitate in a sense. That's how I've like identified therapy, and how I see it. And it's like they're not going to tell you what to do. Because I used to be mad when I had my first therapist. I'm just like, she's not telling me what to do. She's not telling me how to make my life better. She's not telling me how to go get a job and do all this stuff. It's like you already know how to do that stuff. They're there to pull it out, but you have to be willing to be uncomfortable and vulnerable enough to allow them to see and know, so they can best assist you.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you have to really be ready. Like you have to really be ready to just be open and like let them help you. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're not ready to do the work, it ain't no point in going. And if you're not ready to be honest, it ain't no point in going.
Ain't no point in fucking going. I feel like y'all pay y'all therapists to fucking lie. They're getting paid regardless. If you're gonna go and lie, that's your money, that's your time being wasted, because it's like you're gonna be the one who's have to keep coming back to therapy because your goals are not being met and you're not really progressing because you're not doing the work. So it's like, if you're gonna go to therapy, be prepared to do the work. Also come with some goals in mind of like why you're taking therapy, what it is you want to get out of it. When I went to my last therapist, I had really concrete goals, which I feel like I've met. And then as I went to therapy, well, actually, I feel like I started off with therapy back in July 2020. So I'm like, oh, I'm so angry. I'm in this relationship. I don't know how to control my anger. Like, this girl just like pisses me off so bad. I need to like work on how to be a better girlfriend. That was literally why I fucking went to therapy, right?
Bruh, me too.
Ghetto shit ever. I'm like, why am I going to therapy?
It wound up being about me, and I broke up with her. I just
bitch, same. It literally became about me, and I broke up with her. And it gave me the confidence to leave that fucking relationship.
Surely the fuck did.
Okay.
It redefined my spine. Like,
so I'm like, why am I about to go to therapy? She swore up and down, had all these issues. I go to therapy and see somebody. I'm just like, the more I was in therapy, I'm like, why am I with this?
Bruh, because you realize, like, because once you go to therapy, you start doing the work, and when you do start doing the work, you start seeing the world through a different perspective, and then you start looking at the situation like, hold on, I'm the only one really fucking doing the work.
Like, only one doing the work, and niggas was not. They were saying the same. It's like, why do you expect me to change? You're going to stay the same.
Absolutely.
You need to go get some help. You need to get shit out, not me. Alone is like, it's a definitely, if I have issues, you have issues, because we attract each other somehow, some way, and we're both on the same wavelength, that it is just not on me. But it was easy to blame me and point the fingers at me and just make it all about me and how I was just this whatever person, which is all good, because I needed to hear those things to push me back into therapy to get my shit together. And it's like, I had the best experience with my last therapist.
Yeah. And what's so dope about it is like, I used to think that I was gonna be in therapy for a long time. Like, I thought that I was so fucked up in the head, I was gonna need a therapist like forever.
Yeah.
But like, that's not how therapy works. So like, a big part of the reason why they guide you through and make you figure it out, and they kind of make you answer the questions and figure out what works for you, is so that you learn how to just think that way in your everyday life, and like eventually like you're able to get through those moments without the therapist.
Without the whole point is to literally it's to literally give you the skills so you're able to do it without them. I don't think the goal of therapy is to be in therapy for a long time. I thought the same thing. I'm like, damn, I'm fucked up. I've been in therapy for a couple of years. I'm just like, that's ghetto shit to be in therapy for years. I'm like, people crazy as hell be in therapy for years, and it's like, you don't have to be in therapy that long, but I feel like when you're not willing to do the work, you're not really to be honest with yourself. You're gonna be in that motherfucker for a long time.
Yes, you will.
It's gonna seem like you're not getting nowhere, because it's like you're not getting nowhere because you're not getting
doing
nowhere.
The work. Yeah.
Okay. But that's real as shit. Because I remember I went to see my therapist for like once every week, then to like every other week, to like twice a month. Because it's like I understand that, like, because at some point it could become a clutch. You could be leaning on your therapist. You could become codependent on your therapist. Like, oh, this went wrong in my life. I can't wait to tell my therapist. Oh, this happened. I can't wait to tell my therapist. Like
that's cool in the beginning.
Like, it's okay, but after a while, you gotta kind of know how to figure shit out on your own and be able to problem solve on your own.
Yeah. That's like. It was so funny because in the beginning I thought I was gonna be codependent. I really did, but I had a codependent mindset back then. But I was just like, like, you know what I'm saying? When me and my therapist first started, you know, doing the thing, like, you know what I'm saying, doing the thing where it's like therapy ends and it's like, so how long is it gonna be this time? And it's just like, I still want to come. Like at first, where it's just like, I don't want to break up yet. I don't want to do it yet. I want to see you every other week. Like I still want to see you every other week. And then after a while, like that every other week comes by, and it's just like, okay, we could do 2 weeks. We could do 2 weeks. We could do 2. Okay, we could do a month now.
Right.
We can do a month now. And then after a while, it's just like,
I'm good.
Yeah, like I'll call you when I need you. I think I'm all right. Like
yeah,
it's like you graduated. Like
it really is like graduation. It's like, okay, I've done all the work now. Thank you. Until next trauma.
I'm just talking shit because it's stuff right now that me personally that I can do better on. You know. So I'm just talking then when I said, and it come out my mouth, at least I realized that it's stuff that I can do better on, and then give it an effort to do better.
Absolutely.
You know, that's all that is. Nobody's perfect, but you know, you hope and think that we as a people would try to strive, you know, and help people out, to help people to stand up. And maybe one day somebody can help you stand up. Absolutely. But right now, we ain't got it, man. You know, as a person living in a home when your AC go out, you be hoping to see a black businessman that come through that can say, man, look, man, you don't have to pay no $300-400. It's just this. You be hoping that when you can find somebody that work on your car to say, man, you don't have to pay no $900 to fix this, man. This is simple. You know, you just think that, you know, eventually after all this time, you know, that we had it figured out where we can help each other. That's all. You know, that we can help each other instead of pulling each other down. And we wonder why we can't get nowhere, because we ain't got no avenues to get nowhere. You know?
Right. And like, to piggyback off what you saying, something that you said earlier, like I was thinking about this the other day. A lot of us don't like accountability. A lot of us don't like to be held accountable for the stuff it is that we do. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people feel like it's a personal attack when you try to when you're trying to tell them like what they doing wrong that they could improve on. People don't want to hear that. But like accountability is like really one of the first steps to actually changing something in your life. If you acting like it ain't nothing wrong with what it is that you doing, like everything is okay and the status quo is fine, but meanwhile you complaining about things and you know what I'm saying, always want to be the Debbie Downer, like, you know, oh, it's so bad, it's so this, it's so that, whatever. But like, you know what I'm saying? You're not doing anything to make it different. You're not doing anything to make it change. It's just like people want to act like you the enemy if you try to hold them accountable.
Well, yeah, that's in anything. I go through that on my job. That people you consider friends, that you try to tell stuff to, or try to give them advice, they don't want advice. But when they getting ready to get fired, you know, they coming to you. They coming to you like, what do you think? Be like, well, I was trying to give you advice. You know, I saw what you were doing wrong.
Right.
But you didn't want to hear it.
Right.
You know? And then, like, you say like you're not a good friend. You know, because the truth hurts. You know?
Yeah, the truth hurts. It's easier to make somebody else the bad guy than to hold yourself accountable and make changes. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying that from personal experience. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes even growing up, you can tell the people this. If it was something that you was telling me that I ain't like, I'm ready to fight you tooth and nail if I don't want to see the truth.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because, you know, that's how Dad was. You know, Dad told you. You know, I was blessed, you know, like, you know, family-wise. You know, because when your parents can tell you how they feel and stuff like that, then it you know, it hurts, you know, when they tell them when you're younger and stuff, but when you realize that they was telling you for your own best interest, you know, you realize that. So then, my sister, she do the same thing. Like she could tell you how she feels. And like when you younger, man, sometimes the truth hurts. Like when people just blunt and they telling you stuff and you don't want to hear it, it hurts. But it's nice when you get older to have people that's looking out for your best interests, than people that's just patting you on the back saying what you want to hear. Like, sometimes you got people like, that can't take the truth. So you got to sugarcoat stuff for them because they ain't made just to be truthful. You always got to be, worried about what you going to say because like they going to break, like they brittle and stuff. But they not brittle. They just don't want to hear what you have to say. So it seems like it hurts them. But that's life. That's the family. Don't you understand? That's
I'm laughing because that would be me. You know what I'm saying? I start crying.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody got that. Some people you could just, you could hit them with all your bullshit, both barrels, and they could take it. Some people, man, they look strong and they look tough, man, but they will, And them the people that fool you, man. Because, people, they act like they built for this tough shit. But really inside, they like a marshmallow, So you look at people, man, you be like, talk, they can talk that shit, but then they feelings get hurt, You be like, I'm confused. And then they'll come back later, and then they hard again. You be like, well, shit, fuck. I'm confused. I don't know who I'm talking to.
Right.
Right. First you hard, then you a marshmallow. Now you hard.
That's somebody that's not being honest with themselves.
Right. What the fuck are you?
Not being honest with yourself. Because at your core, you that damn marshmallow. But you putting on the front like you whatever. And if you know what I'm saying, if you was honest with yourself and be like, you know what, because I had to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, you know what, I am a marshmallow. And I let people hurt me too easily. And then it's like, once you are that honest with yourself and you hold yourself accountable, you can change that. You can do something about it. You can put in the work and you can do something about it. That's why, you know what I'm saying? Like when I'm talking to other people, it's just like, shit, well, I done said what I had to say now. I can tell you how I feel. And you know what I'm saying? And it just is what it is. If you hurt me, you hurt me. If you made me happy, you made me happy. You know what I'm saying? If I'm disappointed in somebody's actions, I can tell you that. And it's not going to affect how I feel because I'm honest with myself about how I feel. And I can be honest with you too.
That's crazy, Rich.
Man, we so powerful. And it's so crazy because it's just like we so powerful, but it's the mind. It's the mind. It's just like our minds are they try to keep us so low and thinking so low of ourselves. It's just like if we actually took the time and actually built each other up, like you said, and started speaking power and thinking highly of ourselves, we'd be unstoppable. But it's literally, it's that mind. They done got so deep in our minds that we think that, you know what I'm saying, all of the bad things are good.
I don't, but see, I used to think like that, but now I think that we at a point to where, we were taught to think a certain way and do things because we wasn't educated on things. But I think now, like when we started this, we was talking about do the work.
Yeah.
I think now you got enough out there with the internet. You got enough out there if you read books. You got enough out there if you just talk to people. You can find out, a whole lot of stuff. Go on and then know what it's to the point where it's just it's just we can't blame nobody for our situation. We know what happened, we know that people pieces of shit, we know how people oppressed us and stuff like that, but to keep on dwelling on it just gonna leave you you know, right where you is. It's time to do something about it.
Yeah.
You know, it's time, and that's why I'm saying, you know, you started it off with doing the work, and that it's time to do the work.
Yeah.
It's time to figure out, you know, why we the way we are, you know, and what we need to do to change. Right?
Yeah. And it kind of even goes back to like what you're saying about like where it's just like if something happens and you sit up there and you cry and you depressed and you smoke it away, that's really what we doing in the bigger picture. You can apply that to any and everything in the bigger picture of things. That's what you do. It's like if you sitting up here complaining about it, saying why I gotta be like this and that and whatever, none of that's changing the situation.
Right.
None of that's changing the situation. You know what I'm saying? One of the things that I had to learn is how to honor my feelings and then move the hell on. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you know, oh, I'm sad. Why am I sad? Because this happened. Okay, acknowledge it, move on. What we gonna do about it? And just keep moving. It's not nothing that you need to just shut down for. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I've done things and I wasn't successful. So what I'm gonna do? Just sit up here and think everything that I touch is not gonna be successful? No, that's not true. I need to make changes. I realized where I went wrong in certain aspects of my life, why I got the results that I got, and now it's time to do something about it. Right. Now it's time to make changes. Now it's time to put in the work and do something different. You know what I'm saying?
Right, and it ain't even about being successful when you do that. I'm just telling you, man, you know, where you come from, and I'm just telling you where you come from. You came from, your grandparents didn't have much of an education, but they was hard workers, and they believed in Christ, and they put that in their kids. And I'm the only one left that's working out here. All my brothers and sisters, they retired in somewhere fast. And doing good for themselves, and they went to work every day. You know, they went to work, and to me, that's a success story. And they went to work every day, and now they're getting to enjoy the fruits of their labor. And I'm proud of them for that. And then I see like, you know, my nieces and nephews, they taking that same point of emphasis and doing the same thing. You know, we ain't like get together, but we know what everybody kids doing like that. And like I know my brother Nate, kids, they all work, they all do fantastic things out here trying to grind. Danny kids doing the same, you know, solid kids, you know, educated and stuff like that, and doing the same like that, and you so man to be proud of them. And then some of them like Gerald, they got problems, but they was trying to, you know, they trying to correct their problems. And then even his grandkids, you know, they going
yeah, they doing their thing too, like yeah.
That. So I just say that come from upbringing, you know, to strive. Like, you know, everybody think you gotta be rich. No, you just gotta be out here trying.
Yeah.
You just gotta be out here trying, you know, trying to grind and stuff like that. You know, and you know, you don't get to say, you don't really get to see your family like that to tell them, you know, the things that, you know, when I get up and go to work and I think about, you know, in my dark times or happy times, it's think about some of the faces I don't see that you just want to like give them a hug and be like, man, you doing outstanding. When you see like when they having kids and they getting married and they just, you know, dealing with stuff and not giving up on stuff. You know, I can be telling people business, but I won't on here. But like they go, you know, they go through stuff like that and they deal with it. If they have to go through stuff with their kids, you know, they dealing with it and they dealing with it in a good way. And I guess I'm trying to, you know, instead of talking all negative,
right,
try to bring something positive, you know, because, you know, I'm just saying, man, as a person.
It is people out there doing the work, yeah.
Yep. To look at my family, like you be like, you be seeing some of these, you know, my nieces and nephews when they was little, and they was going through something. You see them as mothers, you see them as fathers, and you see like, you know, they out here doing their grind, and you be like, right home. Because I ain't talking about none of them when I'm talking about do the work, because they doing the work, you know. And I'm glad, you know, I just want to put that out there. And I just think everybody ought to, you know, because I need to do the work myself. But if some of them need to do the work, then do the work, you know. But, you know, I'm just, you know, it's just so nice to see that at least your family has got that grind. And I think that comes from mom and dad, you know, seeing them raising us like they did, you know, and everybody having respect for themselves, you know, because a lot of times problems come when people don't have respect for themselves.
Yeah.
And then they because if you got respect, and like even like, you know, you brought the subject up, so I use you as an example. Like when you was going to school and you said, you know, some of the problems that incurred that you was going to school, you know, whoop the wop and all that. If you had like all respect for yourself, you would have gave so much about getting that education, you know, you would have kicked all that other stuff to the
side, yeah.
You know, but you know, sometimes it's just the respect level that you have for yourself, and I'm speaking that because you know when you know it's like that for me, you know. Some things I could say I could have done better in some of these jobs and wanted more and stuff, but like sometimes like when you younger, you just feel like you can't get them. Then when you older, you just don't want to put the effort to do it.
Yeah. And that's very much what got me to this space that I got now, you know what I'm saying? Because the only reason why I talk about what I've been through is to talk about where you can go with it. You know what I'm saying? Because now, because I've had those experiences, it's a blessing. You know what I'm saying? It might sound like a bad thing, but I see these things as a blessing because now when I've hit this point in life, now I know that. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that's where I went wrong. It's just like, now the things that I want, I'm going to put in the work. I'm going to do what it is that I have to do. And I'm going to push them other things aside that get in the way. And I'm going to go after what it is that I want because that's what I want. I said that to myself and that's what I believe. And I believe in myself in order to get it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, just because things probably didn't go the way that you wanted them to in the past doesn't mean that you can't change it.
Yeah.
You can keep going. You can keep moving. You know what I'm saying? All you got to really do is learn a lesson. Everybody goes through bad things. Everybody goes through disappointments. You know what I'm saying? You might not have done the best that it is that you can do, but you can't just sit and sulk about it. You know what I'm saying? At a certain point in time, like if you really want that situation to change, all you got to do is tell yourself, is get to the bottom of where it went wrong and then do something to change it. And then pick yourself back up. You know what I'm saying? The only person that can define what success is to you is you. That's the only thing that matters. If success to you is going to work every day and taking care of your family and you know what I'm saying, doing what it does, doing what you gotta do to make you happy, you know what I'm saying? You might do a little smoke, you might do a little drink, whatever. That's perfectly fine. Because the only person that can dictate what your life should look like should be you anyway.
Right.
It's almost a continuation in a sense because, like, you know, this is what doing the work really means. Sometimes when you say doing the work, like you said before early in the episode, you don't know what that means. Especially like, you know what I'm saying, from the outside looking in, it's just like, what is that? And especially if you ain't never encountered it before. And like, to be fair, a lot of people ain't really encountered, you know what I'm saying, the right kind of people and things and like the traits of people to be successful. I've been lucky enough to have grown up and have encounters around people who I view as successful.
Right.
And when and you get to study their habits, and you know what I'm saying, some of the tools that they use and how they maneuver and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I've been when I had jobs, I've been working since I was 15, and I done been doing manager roles since I was 16. You know what I'm saying? So I know I be in a room with like bosses and stuff, and I know how they talk to people, and I know certain ways how to, you know, motivate people and shit like that. And other people just ain't experienced that or they ain't seen that. You know what I'm saying? So I got a different perspective when it says like how to do the work, and I would love to like help people and show certain people what it look like, but everybody don't want it. You know what I'm saying? So I just be coming here for the people that want it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, you gotta, if you want to know what the work looks like, shit, you know what I'm saying? We gotta get into it, because some people just don't know. Some people want to do better for their lives and they just don't know how.
Yeah, and then sometimes people just be talking shit.
So that's absolutely.
You know, that's I think that's what bothers me. That's why, like, the older I'm getting, you know, it just don't even behoove me to try to help talk. I get like what you were doing, but when you start getting my age and you around people that's you know 55 and 60 and 65 years old, if they still talking shit at that age. You understand what
you just talking. You done made your choice about 20 years ago.
It don't make sense to me. You know, I talk to some youngins, you know, and most of the time, you know, I don't even waste my time with the youngins, because, you know, if they ain't got their shit together and they ain't motivated to do it, they just talking shit anyway.
Yeah.
You know, just like I told you, you know, need my nieces and nephews. They come out the box at fucking 18 years old, and they fucking grind, you know, trying to get through school, trying to get a trade, trying to get an education. They come out grinding. They got the shit figured out. Now the fuck is you 25, 30, 35, 40 sitting up here talking shit, you know? Because that fucking joint and that drink is your fucking guy. It's your pimp. You understand what I'm saying? Let's just keep it fucking real.
Yeah.
You know, that fucking bottle or that joint is your fucking pimp. It's
women,
calling you
all
every time you get paid. Every time you get paid, that's what's calling you. Every time you fucking got to sit down, you got to roll that fucking blunt. And you got to smoke that fucking blunt. And really, one day you going to fucking sit back and you going to think to your fucking self, you're going to like, man, this motherfucker had a grip on me all this time. And that's why I can't do the work. Because my fucking girlfriend keep calling me to this couch, you know, telling me to puff.
Yeah.
You know? So I can't do shit, you know. I can't move forward, you know. I can't move backwards. I can't do shit. I'm going to sit right here and blame everything on somebody else for my ass not doing what I'm supposed to do.
This shit gonna sound kind of cold, but I thought about this shit again and again. This is something like, I was on this shit too. This is why I'm speaking on it. But it's just like, how the fuck can you tell somebody you ain't got time for something when you smoke like multiple hours a day? Now, mind you, and you could take this with any vice that you got. How the fuck you gonna really realistically sit up and tell somebody that you don't have time? Now how much time did it take for you to have to connect with that weed man and go get that weed? What's that, like 30 minutes? What's that 30 minutes that you could have done doing something else to go get it and bind it? Now you gotta go stop at the gas station. That's another 5 minutes, because you know you gotta go get you some Rellos, some wraps, some whatever. And then you take another 5 minutes to go, you know what I'm saying? Roll it up and put it together and this and this and that. And then you take 30 minutes and you sitting up there smoking it. You done wasted about 2 hours of your goddamn day, but you want to sit here and tell and talk about you ain't got time. You wasting your time. This is what you choosing to invest your time in. Don't say you ain't got time. You making fucked up choices.
We see, okay, so now we talking about drugs now. Look here. Motherfucker told me one time when I was young, I don't know how true it is. I'm gonna take it at his word. He say, man, and I was getting high back in the day. I'm telling on myself. And he say, man, you know about weed? He say, whatever type of person you are when you smoke weed, he say, that's what that weed gonna bring out about you. I said, what do you mean? He say, like, if you like to have fun and you jovial, he say, that weed gonna make you, have fun. It's gonna bring you up. He say, if you like to, get high and sit back and just chill, and look at the room, that weed gonna do that. Say whatever your mood is, what type of person you is, that weed will bring that out on you. So instead of, if we can sit up and talk about how bad weed is, but let like those rappers or rich people and shit, they can smoke weed and stuff like the Brainiac and fucking find a way to go to fucking Mars or the moon. But, you can, motherfucker like Tupac go in the studio and Snoop can get high all day and come out and write some of the best songs. Because that shit helps them, okay?
Right.
So it ain't bad, but what I'm telling you
it's about how you use it.
A lazy motherfucker go smoke weed and sit on his ass and then not know what's fucking him up.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
But the key to what you saying too, you know what I'm saying? You said these rappers will go smoke a blunt and get in the studio.
Right.
An artist is gonna smoke that joint and go paint a painting.
Right.
You
a lazy. All I'm telling you is know what you are. Okay. See, you listen to me, because I know you just got what the fuck I said.
Yeah.
Know what you are.
Yeah.
You said it, Richie. You said when I was going to the S&T, that weed fucked me up. It made you what? Miss your classes, do all this. A lazy motherfucker that roll up that blunt, hit that blunt, and sit on the couch, That's why it's fucking you up.
Yeah, life is going by.
You feel what I'm saying?
You ain't doing shit.
Because I can't do it. Because I'm a thinker, okay? I'm a thinker, and I need my right mind.
Yeah.
So when I fucking get high, it takes that away from me. It'd be different if I got high and it made me smarter, and it made me I'd be like, God damn, I gotta get me some more. That's what them fucking rappers do. Motherfucker like Tupac, they like, well, fuck. I could write poems and poetry, but goddamn, I hit this joint, Snoop Dogg, fucking joint, and I'm fucking Superman,
Yeah.
I'm fucking figuring out shit, and this shit coming to me, But see, for me, I hit that shit, and all of a sudden, I'm tripping off everything. I can barely fucking talk.
Yeah.
Why the fuck I want to be high? You see? And some people, like I'm saying, some people hit that joint and they sit on their couch and they be like, oh, this shit great. I'm comfortable. Oh, this couch is sinking in.
Yeah. Where the chips at? Where the chips at?
Where the fucking Twinkies at? This Twinkie the vibe. Fuck get some rice with this.
Right.
And some red soda. All this shit is nice.
Some White Castles will go real good with this high right now.
Right. So you do that, right? So you ain't doing shit. You ain't doing shit productive.
No.
So the next day, guess what? You roll up another motherfucking joint. Smoke that motherfucker. sit your ass back on the couch and eat another goddamn Twinkie.
Some emos would be lovely.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, hey, a bitch is coming back. Let me roll a joint.
Ain't that fantastic?
Right, man. I'm gonna do this and that. Da. Ooh, this is great. Now you don't spend motherfucking $100 on some weed. Look, you done spent
$50 on food.
Weed, ate some emos, some Chinese. Okay, got with a girl. You know, all that shit you could have got for free.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You ain't did shit productive. You know, you ain't did shit productive. That's the shit I'm saying. That's why I can't fuck with you.
Me either. Like that's why I had to back up off of it.
Because I'll be an Oreo cookie eating motherfucker.
But because that would be me, man. I would be the same nigga sitting up here making excuses like, man, I ain't got no time.
I ain't going outside on this sunny day today.
No.
I'm just gonna sit here, pull my drapes in.
And watch Netflix.
Thank you. Like it's wintertime. You know? like it's wintertime.
For real. And you trying to figure out why you can't meet nobody. Why you not getting where you want to get in life? Why your financial situation still the same? What, you know what I'm saying? Why things going this way? It's like you ain't doing shit. You waste every day. And like, ain't nobody telling you to go out, do some hard, extravagant shit. Ain't nobody telling you go climb Mount Everest tomorrow. Niggas just saying reevaluate what the fuck you do today so you can have something. You know what I'm saying? Reevaluate what you do so you can have something. What's some simple shit that a nigga you say you don't like your job, right? You know what I'm saying? So you again, you done sat there, you done went, you done got your emos, your Chinese food, whatever. You sitting there high as hell, you know what I'm saying? Sitting here depressed, talking about how much you hate your job to yourself. But you could have used that time and applied for at least like 2-3 jobs even before you got hired.
Working at Dollar General and shit.
Exactly. You
could have spent. Mother, ain't no way I'm gonna be working at Dollar General getting high. I'm telling you. I'm just telling you shit. Only way, but I see why you gotta get high working at Dollar General.
Okay.
Maybe we going about this shit wrong.
Because I know I was doing it in my retail days. That's how I got through it.
Right. I'm saying maybe we ought to reevaluate why people get high. Maybe it's because they got them shitty jobs, you know.
Because they want more out of life. But you gotta be honest with yourself.
But wouldn't that be the cruelest joke on the world? That you got a shitty job, so you getting high because you got a shitty job, but getting high is keeping you in that shitty job.
Yeah, absolutely. People don't see that shit. Honestly, niggas will look and be like, you just judging because I smoke. Fuck you, nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it's not. It's not.
So if anybody listening to this and they got a shitty job, I want you to go roll the biggest joint up you got.
And think about it.
Smoke that shit and evaluate your life and find out. And then you will know why you got that shitty job. You know? Why you can't get nowhere because you smoking that joint. And puff that shit out for me. You know? Puff that shit out for you. Because weed will make you think. That's why people don't want to. Damn, people motherfucker ain't gonna listen to this shit high. Because see, if I listen to this shit high, I'd be like, let me try that. God damn. After I get through the car, I'm like, God damn. That shit is deep. That shit is deep. You fuck around, that fucking weed be like Satan.
It is.
That fucking hold in you. We'd be like, don't listen to that motherfucker, man.
Turn that shit off.
Turn that shit off.
I don't really want to hear that shit.
Back on the couch. You want a Twinkie, nigga?
You know they got the new Halloween Oreos out now, don't you?
But how about some ice cream with my ass?
Yeah.
Hey, it's a good movie. It's a good movie on Netflix, motherfucker. Go get the blanket and some popcorn. Wrap up, hit me 3 times, put me out, eat some more Twinkies.
And call Shirley while you at it. Let's see what she doing. She might come over.
So then when you wake up the next day and you're like, man, I hate this shitty ass job. But fuck, I gotta go so I can get me some more weed. Man, this shit crazy. Chris, you got me talking shit.
Sometimes it doesn't, even in research and just in life, sometimes you just gotta go back to where you started.
Facts.
Sometimes you just gotta recall, you gotta just check the foundation so that you can build something and build higher. And that's literally what is the overall theme in terms of what my research embodies.
Girl, if I had a church piano, I'd get it out, start playing it. Cause you on to something. You on to something.
Yeah, literally.
You on to something. Like, cause that's very much it. Like, I say this a lot of the times in like the podcast and my other thing that I do on YouTube, Confessions of a Healing Healer. What I talk about a lot is how you kind of like have to unlearn everything to heal sometimes.
Yeah.
Like you have to question, you know what I'm saying? Because some of the things that you learned, are these really your thoughts, or are these things that were projected onto you? Are these conclusions that you came up with growing up in childhood based on an inability to deal with certain feelings and emotions and situations in a proper manner? Right?
Exactly.
So like you have to, in order to kind of like heal and start living that life again, you have to unlearn all of these things and then really get down to the root of who you are at your core.
Yes.
You know, outside of what other people think of you or what people told you that you were, or the experiences that you had. Like, who are you?
Exactly.
Down at that baseline, down at that root. And like that's how you can really start making significant ground and progress in any area of anything, like in any type of growth. To make any type of significant change, you have to go to square one. One of the best managers that I ever worked for in my life, he had one rule, and it was, when shit hits the fan, do your job.
Yeah.
When shit hits the fan, like, because this is when I was working in retail, he was like, I need y'all to do 3 things when shit hits the fan. He was like, I need y'all to make sure there's nothing on the floor, help customers, and sell clothes. As long as you did them three things, we ain't gonna have no problems.
Yeah.
And it's very much the basics. It's just like you worried about A, B, C, D, E, like, you know what I'm saying? Not A, B, C, D, E. You all the way at T, W, V, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You all the way down there. And sometimes you need to come back to A and be like, okay, what am I even doing here?
Yeah.
What's going on? And
Agreed.
like, how do I move forward?
Agree. Because sometimes it's easy to get lost in the sauce, you know? Get lost in the journey, get lost in the process. That's why, and that's what, honestly, like I said, the engineering management, that low-key help, because, you know, in a lot of the tools that you use in like our inbox, which is like our book of knowledge, they tell you all the time to constantly redefine your problem as you are constantly working towards your solution.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, if your problem has like these things you need to overcome, once you overcome one, you need to say, all right, what have I have and what I got to do next? Cool. What I have and what I got to do next? Great. You know, it's a constant iterative process, and recalling the foundation helps you stay on track for that.
Yeah, it's really cool when families are able to come together in that kind of way. and do that. Like my family, in a sense, is kind of like coming together to do that for my mom's project. I don't really want to talk about it yet because I don't know if she want me to talk about it yet. But like, you know, it's interesting to kind of like watch these things start to come together because it starts off small. It's just like, oh yeah, I'll help you do this. Oh, I'll help you do that, whatever. And then like before you know it, like y'all really doing the thing. Like y'all really doing the thing. So like, what is that like running a family business? Because I know like it get hard. Like it get hard. It's one thing to deal with family, but it's another thing to mix family and money and like trying to get work done. So what is that even like, trying to like deal with all of that and like still stay cool?
So I'm gonna tell you right now, don't nobody test you more than your family. Yeah. Okay. Don't nobody test you more than your family. It's easy to get a coworker that you don't know, hire somebody you don't know, and have them trained and provide for them the culture that you want to set, and they'll abide by it.
Right.
When it's your family, it's why you doing all of this? No, I'm just but you're just subject to a little bit more opinion and constructive criticism than honestly one person may want. But overall, it is really rewarding at the same time. And because it is my family, if I have last minute business, it's a little bit easier to reach out to cuz and be like, hey cuz, you know, got a last minute client trying to book for this weekend. You think you're gonna be available to work? Right. And you'll probably have better friends and family being available versus you know, just typical people in their everyday lives. And that just comes with the nature of the business. You know, I try my best to, whenever I'm getting the employees out their schedule and their booking, you know, letting them know like ahead of time, like, hey, you know, these are the possible dates for booking, you know, keep this free if you're available on your schedule. But as things change and, you know, clients and the bookings and that timing changes, you know, also is dependent on the client. So it has its rewards and benefits also as well. Okay. Family just, I feel like, are naturally gonna go a little harder for you.
That's true.
Unless you got those family.
If you got the good kind.
If you got the good kind. Now I know everybody don't. Some people be having the kind that's gonna try to do everything to sabotage it.
That's real. Yeah.
But work it out and everything. They're gonna have the same passion for your business because they know that they're a part of it. You know, the same way as you do. So
and they want to see you succeed. Yeah.
Yep. And then it's not even more so of me succeeding. Now that it's, you know, family oriented, it's now turned into a conversation, right? Of we're all succeeding. It's like, oh, we did great with this today. Oh, yeah, Daryl, you definitely did better this time, you know, for the last event, you know, or, you know, here's where we could work on, you know. It becomes more of a team effort, and it feels good to me because it's like, okay, even though I know that I'm like the main creator of this, I'm not alone in managing this, and they care.
Right. That's good to have. That's definitely good to have.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. You want to talk about your research?
Yeah, sure. So my research is right now is pretty much it's the 3-pillar framework for sustainability. It's expanding that framework, excuse me. So the cool thing is right now sustainability is pretty much always focused on social, environmental, and economic factors. And together they created something called the 3-pillar framework for sustainability. But history and the research and the literature shows that there is no way to really use this model. A lot of models that we're employing for our understanding today are kind of old and outdated. They don't have logical properties associated with how to use them, no explicit description. And it's like so much research is just built upon these models and then thrown back into our literature. And then it gives me pretty much a question as to, are we as a society really moving forward, basing our ideals and capitals and projects off this research, or are we needing to go reevaluate these models that we're employing for understanding? And that's pretty much what my research does. It talks about other factors that could possibly impact our ability to remain sustainable.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting as hell. It's kind of funny that you mentioned that. I went somewhere and we were having that conversation. Somebody was saying that, but in the psychology realm of it, where research is limited only, when you think about research and the things that we base all of these conclusions that we come to as a society is based on research, right?
Right.
But you only get facts off of the research that is done, right? So just because these are the factors that they have looked into and have researched, you only have answers on those. There are still other questions and still other factors that haven't really been explored. Exactly. So, you know what I'm saying? Is this really the answer? But it's like, no, this is the answer for what you've researched. But there are so many other possibilities.
Yeah, and so pretty much what I'm doing now is saying, okay, let's use AI, so a neural network, AI, artificial intelligence, AI technology, to determine if there are other factors, and if so, how can we build a new model and add theoretical reasoning to that model to better interpret where we stand in terms of our sustainable goals. So, yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that seems interesting. I can see, like, are you having fun with that? Because that seems interesting as hell.
I am, and to be honest, I feel like it needs to be done because so much of this world, everybody, big company organizations, everybody's talking about being sustainable, going carbon neutral 2030, and when you think about what sustainability means, I mean, are we forgetting that we still have a poverty line level? Are we forgetting that people still aren't afforded the same workforce? You know, are we forgetting the things that pretty much cause people to become a product of their environment or impact their ability to receive the maximum opportunity out of their life? Like, that, to me, is what every model in the old research or old literature, and it does lack then, because at that time sustainability was pretty much being tackled before it was even being described. We didn't really know what sustainability was. You know, all we know is that, you know, water was becoming a shortening resource. We're polluting way too many gases in the air, and at the same time we're economically going up and down.
Right.
So it's just one of those things where we started tackling a problem that we really didn't know how to define yet. And so now that we're in a more of a technology driven age, we can go back and define explicitly what it is, and even a better solution to that, just by going back and re-looking at the scope.
Yeah. And like, even on a personal level, it's kind of funny when I think about it. Y'all don't know this, but we know this. Tiffany, first time I met you, I was like, what, 8, 9? Like, we met at elementary school.
Yep.
Yeah. And we met through like a gifted program. Like, they just like rounded all the kids up in our school district and was like, y'all smart, y'all should meet each other and do like puzzles and shit.
Right. To this day, I don't know
what the point with this shit.
But I have to do schoolwork and play Mancala all day. Like,
that's real. That's real. We can whoop a nigga ass in
Mancala all day. To this day, like, I am a Mancala champion. People be trying to. I message games, feelings hurt. Yeah,
they don't want that smoke.
No, you don't even want that. No,
you don't want that smoke, bro.
Nope.
You don't want that smoke. And did you go to did you go to St. Sebastian too?
No, I actually went to Coke and Highland.
Nah, I mean when we went to when we were in
preschool, yes.
Not preschool, when we had to go to them other schools. You remember how we used to have it at
the
other school, and we went to St. Sebastian and you had the damn 2 teachers.
Yes.
And I was in Miss Smith class and I was mad.
Yes. I couldn't remember the other lady. She was always seemed to be nicer.
I want to call her Miss Jenkins, but I ain't sure.
Jenkins, but I was in Miss Smith class too.
Bruh, we be mad as hell. Like, you listening to them playing Bop It on the other side of the wall, and she got us reading books and shit. It's like, bruh.
Yeah, Dr. Smith didn't play.
She did not play. I had gotten in trouble with her one time. I never let this shit go. She took one of my CDs, and it was one of my mix CDs that my brother gave me.
Oh, no.
Man, one of the girls, I don't want to say her name. Well, fuck it. Marvelous was fucking singing and cussing on the back of the bus. And like, the bus driver was like, who's coming? And then fucking pulled the bus over. They like, whose CD is it? It's my dumb ass. They take my CD and shit. And then at the end of the day, after class, I go to Miss Smith because I already don't like her ass anyway. And we in like 6th grade at this point, so I think I'm grown. So, at the end of the day, I'm like, can I get my CD back? And she's like, you can get your CD back when your mom gets it. It's like, don't worry about it. My brother can just make me another copy on the computer. I'm finna go home.
Right? You know what? You can have it. Souvenir.
Okay. You want to listen to Stilettos that bad? You can have it, girl. Don't worry
about it. Stilettos. Pumps in the club.
Yeah. But, my point to saying that was, like, if we go all the way back there, right? So, like, my identity growing up was being the smart kid. Like, that was my identity in my mind. It's just like, shit, I'm smart. Like, you know, like, I'm smart. I'm one of the smartest motherfuckers walking. So then, you know, our paths go different ways in, like, middle school, high school, whatever, because you start going to a whole different school district, right?
Yeah.
And, again, we end up going to the same college.
Yep.
And then we meet again. So we cool, right? We cool. Girl, I was failing in classes. I was struggling. I was having the hardest fucking time, right? And like, I started losing my identity, right? Because at that point, it's just like, nigga, are you smart? What are you? Because this don't look like smart to me. And like, I wasn't used to asking questions or whatever. So that shit was fucking with my pride. Like, that shit was fucking with my pride. It was fucking with my ego. It was fucking with my identity. So when I left Rolla, it was really like me, like, not even knowing, like, I was lost. You know what I'm saying? And then I had started smoking. You already know I was always hot. Like,
right.
By the second year, I hadn't even smoked weed before I got to college. But my sophomore year,
boy, like a chimney.
Okay, it's just the facts. Okay, it's just the facts. So then, like, you know, like, I had my little identity crisis for a while, and it wasn't until like about like, you know, a year or two ago when I started going to therapy and stuff. And it's just like, that's when I had to like break all of that down and unlearn that and like really build myself back up to be like, oh girl, you struggled just because that wasn't for you. It didn't mean that you was smart, wasn't smart. Didn't mean that you wasn't talented. That just that wasn't for you. Like, you have a lane and that wasn't that. Like, that wasn't that. And that's okay. And like, it would be why y'all ain't heard from me. Like, my ass was just like, nope, I can't fuck with them. They too smart for me. I just like, I can't. Like, I didn't. But like, you know what I'm saying? But once you like break out of that shell and you unlearn all of that and you work through that, like, we be fine. Like, for real. Like, we be fine. It all works itself out in the end. Like, it's just relearning those things. It's definitely not something to be afraid of. Like, it's not something to be scared for. It's never too late to unlearn shit. It's never too late to start questioning things a little bit more, because it might be way more worth it than you think at the end of the day.
Exactly. And to be honest, you know, I went through that myself. Not really for undergrad. Undergrad was kind of like my little bread and butter.
I was gonna say, you was busting heads.
Yeah, undergrad. But then again, I also pretty much, mom was really adamant about pretty much me doing what needed to be done. So I was already kind of taking college courses in high school, so I knew college courses were hard. Mm. So when a lot of people struggle and to even your fault, I talk about this a lot. I feel like we as the underserved and underprivileged, and that's the best way I can say it.
Oof, okay. We get into it.
We don't always get the college prep that we need. Like I said, I was blessed, and if it wasn't for my mom already kind of letting me know, like, this college gonna be hard. Like, yeah, you think you smart now? Like, my mama was breaking my ego down by junior senior year. hey, college can't break your ego more than a black woman. That's all I'm about to say. Nah,
that's real. That's real, though. That's real.
Outside of that, though, not everybody has that, and I feel like not everybody learns to what it means to only be the in their class and in their school, and then be pulled with other smart people. And it's like, dang, you questioning like where you at?
Right.
And it's only because they put the label on you in the first place.
Right.
Instead of even and I think schools are now going away from this, but instead of even separating you and because still all they did was separate you and put you in a different class.
Right.
That class still didn't tell you anything about what Marissa was really good at. Like, yeah, they gave us the personality test. I don't know if you remember that. And that's why, well, I was even considering any type of school in engineering or that, because when I took the personality test, that's what they pretty much said. Because I like to problem solve, because I like numbers, I would do well in the STEM field. So, but I didn't learn all of that till I was closer towards high school. But again, everybody isn't awarded that. Like, everybody doesn't get the college prep readiness. And when I say that, I mean hey, here's why you need to buckle down. Here's what it means to study. Here's what it means to ask for help. And it's okay to ask for help. You know what I mean? Everybody doesn't get that. Right. And a lot of people say, well, the pressure comes from the experience. But to be honest, the opportunity. So it has to be presented. The experience is going to be different no matter what type of student you are, because what you're learning and how you learn is variable for every student.
Right.
But we can, as a society, create more opportunity for us to be already aware.
Yeah.
So then when we're faced with that pressure, we'll have something in our toolbox to help us get through. And I say that because I made it through undergrad. I was cool, but baby, grad school, I'm gonna tell you something. PhDs are arrogant. It's like a bunch of Nobel Peace Prize people fighting over who got the best Nobel Peace Prize. It's as if you put all the presidents of the United States in a room and they debate on who was the best president. Okay,
right?
That's a debate, honey. That's how PhDs act. It's putting yourself in a room at the top, and it's always about who can top who.
Right.
Who's more knowledgeable? Who has more skill? Who knows how to think differently? Bring more creative freedom to something. And
you gotta really know who you are in a situation like that, because I can't imagine.
Yes. Talk about pride. Yeah, I had the readiness.
Because you can't compare yourself. That's not even a place where you want to. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not saying that it's a bad thing, right? Because it's just like, one, people ain't even meant to be compared anyway. Everybody got their certain shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, if you was put on this earth to win that Nobel Peace Prize, then you was put on there for that one, and I was put on here for this one, and she was put on there for that one. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not even no room to compare. Like, what you do is different than what I do, which is different than the next person and the next person. But to get in a room where that's what it is, oh hell no, you gotta be secure as fucking yourself. What the hell is that like?
Yes. I ain't gonna lie,
yeah, and it's so real what you're saying about the gap. I remember I was even having a conversation with my therapist about it when I was getting over that hurdle personally, and she's just like, in the environments that we kind of come from, being smart in a way can sort of be a disadvantage to a certain point in your life, because like when you think about it, it's just like you're used, these things are easy, things come easy, so you're not used to being challenged and pushed out your comfort zone, forced to ask questions and things like that. So then when you come into a scenario where things are a little more difficult and you have to struggle a little bit more, now you don't really know what to do. Now it's different. Now you on a whole nother level and you gotta overcompensate, or you kind of get faced with the like, oh shit, the identity crisis of like, okay, what is it that I'm gonna do? So like, how do you think that we fill the gaps in something like that? It's something that I think about a lot, where it's just like, I feel like to a certain extent, like kids are kind of like at a disadvantage when they put in situations like that, because like even us, like you already said it earlier in the podcast, it's just like they isolate. It's like, okay, y'all are the smart ones, so we're gonna put all of y'all together, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. Or if you don't get pulled out, it's like you the smart kid in class and you just sitting there with nothing to do, because the disparities inside one classroom are so major. It's just like the teachers be like, oh, y'all good, y'all got this, like y'all got it, I gotta go focus on these ones with like C's and D's and like F's, like I gotta put my energy and attention over here. And then you got somebody starting to fight in the back and whatever, and we just sitting here like, so what chapter we supposed to read? Like, why we reading out loud? Like
right.
How do you feel about stuff like that?
I feel like honestly a lot of that, it takes the work. Whether that's with programs with the school, programs, professional development programs, maybe parents being a little bit more adamant. It takes the work, and it's not gonna happen overnight. But yeah, I feel like there has to be infrastructure for that. Mm-hmm. The reason why it's not something that's explored too much is there's not a lot of the infrastructure isn't really. A lot of things that create infrastructure or the foundations of a project always come from some type of research, some type of somebody having an idea about something working out. Right. Something that's funded, whatever the case may be. But either way it goes, it has to be something that proves to be value driven in order for it to be, one, accepted on the back end by students, teachers, parents alike, and then two, maintained. Yeah. So I truly feel like we just got to build the infrastructure for it. More professional development programs or more robust college readiness programs. Yeah. Either one. I feel like it's the difference between the education always, no matter what school you're going to go to. And that's not going to change until we probably change a lot of our tax reform and education system. But until we do that, yeah, as a community, we can invest outside into ourselves by creating more professional development programs and college readiness or college prep. That's what I think. Yeah.
Yeah, because like even when we were in college prep things when we were in like high school, middle school, stuff like that. Like they had them available, but even to a certain extent, it was only like a small glimpse into how hard it would be. Did you have to go to that 3-week program before we started college?
No, I didn't do that.
Oh girl. Yeah. Oh girl. It's called Hit the Ground Running, but in reality it should be called Hit the Wall. Because but it was a great program, because it was designed for us. Like we had to do it because we were in the diversity program. We had the diversity scholarship. Mm-hmm. And it's almost like they already knew. It's just like where y'all coming from, it's a high probability that y'all are coming from a disadvantage. So we want to introduce you to what it's going to be like before you come up in here thinking that your old ways of operating are gonna work, because they not. Because they not. 9 times out of 10. And I remember like most of us in that like second week of just having like D's, and we ain't had D's in our life. You know what I'm saying? It's you know what I'm saying? Math class done been pushed back and shit. Like, hold on, wait. Like,
ain't starting where you thought you was gonna start
at all.
Now you contemplating how long you really gonna be in college.
Right, I went from a 4-year plan to a 5-year plan real quick. Real quick. And it's just like, but they was really onto something, because it was just like, you know, you think that college is gonna be one thing, you know what I'm saying, when you come out of high school, at least from where I came from, or the types of schools that I came from. Like, I ain't have to work that hard, and I took college prep classes too, and you know what I'm saying, like the only college prep teacher that gave me a hard time was English, and I think she was a hater. But like, you know what I'm saying? But otherwise, it was just like, oh, fill out this packet. Like, fill out this packet, or you know what I'm saying? Y'all don't get this calculus anyway, so like, let's just call it even, and y'all gonna have to start over when y'all go to college anyway. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like that, and it's just like, you know, once you actually go to college, and it's just like, oh, like, I don't even know how to study. Like, I don't know how to study. I don't know what time management is. I used to be able to do my homework in an hour.
Yep.
Like, and you want me to be able to read this chapter, fully interpret it by tomorrow, and then be able to ask you questions about it? Like, you not telling me what this is? Exactly. Like, oh, I'm already supposed to know what's going on before I get here? Huh? Like, what? I don't understand these concepts. Like, I don't get it. Somebody, what? Help me.
Yeah, and that's why I said, at least with the programs that we already have in place, we could make them more robust. Like, maybe get more motivated people in places, tailoring the programs, partnering with industry, or having sponsorships. Like, hey, you know, if you're in this program, you can take a tour with like Anheuser-Busch and see how their facilitations work. You know, like, their facilities work. So it's like, you know, just more robustness in the programs.
Yeah, more effort. Yeah,
but more of the college prepping readiness. Definitely.
Because it makes a difference at the end of the day. Like, these things matter. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not good to have that identity crisis, and I think, and like, some people fall off that don't necessarily have to. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, you know, yeah, we can struggle through it, but it's just like being able to know, because like sometimes like the resources are even there, you just don't know that they there either, because we not even used to having like resources to utilize. At least I wasn't. It's just like, oh, the resources was there, but I don't even know where to begin to look for them, ask for them, or how to use them.
Right.